Hey guys, what's up? Brent Calmer from Blue Water VST. Thanks for joining me for this 6th tutorial video on Native Instruments Reaktor's Newscool. You know, I sat down to make this video probably 4 or 5 different times, and I kept getting stuck, and the reason why I discovered is that I can't stand this multi-effects unit. I don't know what it's good for. I've tried to understand it. I've tried to take apart the different snapshots. I don't get it. I'm not going to pretend that I get it. It basically functions according to the tone generator, but I don't want to waste your time with kind of flailing around trying to show you what this is worth. I don't want to use it. I don't like it. But without further ado, I would like to show you some real-world applications of Newscool for your music. So let's go. So let's get going with this first technique. What we're going to do here is take a snapshot from Newscool and convert it into an audio loop. But before we convert it into an audio loop, we're going to take away all the different parts that we don't want and just leave the parts that we do. Now this is a snapshot called MIDI, and here's how it sounds. It's very cool, but it's also very involved. Probably wouldn't work well just to drop it into a track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here to these oscillator on-offs, and I'm going to start turning them off. What I want is this kind of low pulsating bass sound that I hear there, but I don't know which of these oscillators it is, so I'm going to start turning these off until I get just that sound I want. Now, still in there. Still in there. No, that was it. It's that one. Okay, so I'm going to turn off all but that oscillator. And I'm going to come over here to mix. You know how I feel about this audio effect, multi-effects unit. I'm going to turn that down. So all we're getting is a very simple bass tone. And now the next step is to come over. I'm going to create another audio track by doing Control T and tell this audio track to start accepting the audio from Reaktor. And we're going to record it as an audio loop, as a WAV file. Maybe it's an AIFF, I don't know. In any case, audio from we want to turn on to Reaktor 5. Post mixer's fine. Turn this monitor to on and arm this for recording. And then when I hit this record button, that will count in, and then it will start recording the audio information. We'll record maybe 4 bars of it, and then we'll play with the loop. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to come over and turn off this Reaktor track now. We don't really need Reaktor at this point anymore. In fact, I'm going to delete it, because why use the CPU juice if you don't need it, right? Now we have our very simple, well, it's not so simple really, but it's this kind of cool bass texture. And it makes a very unique loop. But of course, I've timed it wrong, and it's only 3 bars long. 3 bars and a little bit more. I'm going to change this to 2 bars for the loop so it loops cleanly. And now what we're going to do is use this with another loop, and you'll see how it adds this different texture to it. So here's the other loop that we're going to use it on top of. It's I think this is from the 2020 Sound System pack. And here it is with both of these, and you'll see how they work together. So it's kind of this cool off-balance bass sound. Now the other cool thing that you can do is start changing the start point of this loop. There's no reason that you can't start the loop somewhere other than where it originally started. Right, and get just the vibe you want. So now, that's kind of happening right there. But you can play around with this. That's more of like a kind of a tech house sound, right? But you get the idea. It's a very simple technique, but you'd be surprised how much musicality you can get out of it. You can develop some really cool loops. I mean, why go and buy a sample pack when you can extract a bunch of loops from Newscool, and there's stuff, you know, there are things that no one else is going to have, and they add a lot of uniqueness and a lot of variety to your drum parts. So try that out. It's really cool. It's a you pick your favorite snapshot, and again, just take the parts you want, record it into the audio track, and then start playing with the loop. Have fun with it. So what we're going to do now is start from where we stopped in the last technique. We're going to take this audio track and we're going to convert it into MIDI information. And the way we're going to do that, and I should say I think this is an Ableton specific feature. I'm not sure if this occurs in other DAWs or not, but it's a slice to MIDI feature. It's something that allows us to convert audio information into actual MIDI hits or MIDI triggerable sounds. So if you right click on it, slice to MIDI track, it will bring up this dialog, slice to new MIDI track. We want to retain the defaults. You may want to change them based on your knowledge of these different algorithms or presets. Built-in's fine for now. We'll use that. And now it's going to take our audio track and slice all of that into different hits based upon the time signature information that we've given it in that MIDI, slice to MIDI track dialog. So now what you hear is we have each one of these, the loop is now converted into these different slices. And as we play it here. Where is it? There it is. So it's the same thing, it's now just these MIDI hits. Now this gives you a couple different options. Now one of them is that you can completely reorder the sound. Right? I mean, you could take this, for example, option, click and drag down, and have a copy of it, and start moving these things around and see what happens, right? Move these slices around so they're not playing the same way that the loop played. A lot of options there if you want to get surgical with it and actually home in on specific slices you like. But let's go back here because there's another feature I want to show you that's pretty cool. And what that is the groove feature. Now, if we were to come over here to, say, our drums and select this minimum construction kit, I'm going to drag this into our session view, and it's going to create this with the drum rack, and this drum rack consists of all of these different sounds on sounds terrible. The kit itself sounds pretty good though, so if you listen to this, it's a very funky kind of minimal groove, right? And if we click on one of these clips, you'll see that there actually is a groove here that's working. It's SP 1200, 16th note swing. So just by way of contrast, if you straighten that, this is what it sounds like. Right? Just very straight ahead. Once you add that groove in, that's when you get the swing. That's when you get the funkiness. Now, if you have this audio from Newscool, and I'm going to turn this off, and you have this playing this basically straightened pattern while your kit is playing something that it has a fair amount of swing, it's not going to sound right. You can see it's not. You can hear it's not locking up. So what if we come to this MIDI clip that we just created with the slices from the audio, and under groove we select the same groove that we have over here for the minimum construction kit. Now all of a sudden we're locked in, right? Now, admittedly, you could also do this with the audio. I tend to think that slicing into a MIDI track and then applying the groove sounds a little bit better. Just in my experience, I may be wrong on that. I don't know. You can do it the way you want to, but of course, slicing to a MIDI track also allows you to reorder some of the hits if that's what you want to do, and really get a much deeper level of control over the Newscool sounds, because within Newscool, it's kind of hard to control the sounds themselves. I mean, you have the live sequencer, but it's not like you're working with a keyboard. So this is a good way of taking those sounds out and doing what you want to do with them. Okay, so for our next technique, we are once again going to build on the previous one. And here what we're going to do is something that's very simple, actually. And you're going to accuse me of mailing it in, and maybe I have, I don't know. I'm a little bit tired, but I still think this is a cool technique. So we have our groove that's kind of locked in now because we have our construction kit, our minimum construction kit, and we have this audio from Newscool. It's been sliced into a MIDI track, and that same groove has been applied. And this is very simple. So don't write comments that I'm an idiot if you've already thought of doing this. It's a simple but powerful technique, and it is just using resonators to add a little bit of housiness to some of our Newscool sounds. These are perfect sounds to add resonators to because you want to have percussive, non-timbral sounds that the resonator can then add a timbre onto or harmonic content onto. So let's experiment with this. We have this sliced track. We're going to take our resonators. Which one is it that I like? There's one of these. I think it's Paris, or is it Prague? I think it's Prague. In any case, no, it's not Prague. It sounds like Aphex Twins. That's it. Right. So now you get this kind of playful sound, this kind of housey sound. You can turn this gain down a little bit, and if you want to make it more plucky, turn the decay down. Right. And that's a way of bringing together the rhythmic interest that you're going to get from Newscool with the harmonic interest that you want to create for some of your more melodic stuff. Really cool technique, and you can play around. You can get all sorts of chord variations. But I think it's a great way of using Newscool because, again, you're using the non-timbral kind of punch of Newscool and putting some harmonic content on top of it. Makes it very interesting. So hope you enjoy that. Alright guys, once again, thanks for joining me and for sticking it out through this 6-part series on Native Instruments Reaktor's Newscool. I hope you got a lot out of it, and feel free to leave a comment for me or send me a message saying, telling me what you'd like to see in future videos. If there are other Reaktor ensembles or other VSTs you'd like to see covered. I'm by no means an expert, but some of the basic stuff I know and can do. And so feel free to contact me. I hope you've enjoyed this. Take care. See ya.